The A-7K is not a bad airplane. It's just that of all the jobs that it can do, it only does one of them well, and even then it's outperformed by other aircraft. This isn't a problem specific to the A-7K. All of the A-7s are plagued by these same problems. It's just made worse here because to get the A-7K, you either spent days grinding an event or spent upwards of $50 to get the aircraft. Even though the A-7K is arguably the best A-7 in the game, it's just not the event reward that you should be going after. So, what makes the A-7K different from the A-7s already found in game? Well, for starters, it has the best secondary munitions of all the A-7s. In particular, the A-7K has access to the AGM-65B Mavericks, whereas the A-7D only gets AGM-65As. And the K has AIM-9Ls, which are the best sidewinders in the game, when the other A-7s only have access to AIM-9Js and Gs. Having secondary munitions that are that good really invalidates a lot of the armaments that the A-7K could carry. All of the A-7s have access to a wide array of dumb bombs, but it's not like you're actually going to take those out in a ground battle, and you really don't want to take the A-7 in air battles. At 11.0 battle rating, the A-7K can face the strongest planes in the game in an up tier. Even with a mixture of 120 countermeasures and 2 AIM-9Ls, what's the A-7 going to do against an F-16 or a MiG-29? It's going to do nothing and die, because that's all that it can do. Even in a full down tier, it's still not going to do well facing off against planes like the MiG-21 and the Mirage 3, both of which can just fly circles around the A-7K with its laughable top speed of 680 miles per hour, which really drops down closer to 600 when you put any sort of weapons on it. At that point, you might as well just pick up the A-6E Tram, which is a whole battle rating lower at 10.0, can carry the same number of bombs, can go the same speed, it can carry 4 AIM-9Ls instead of just 2, and it has 8 times as many countermeasures. It's also premium, so it can research the whole tech tree, and it gives better rewards. The one thing that makes the A-7K better than the A-6E is that the A-7 can carry AGM-65B Mavericks, and those might just be good enough to make up the difference. For those of you that haven't used Mavericks, they are TV-guided fire-infrared air-to-ground missiles. They're so good that they have been a major factor in why the British Harrier GR7 is all the way up at 11.7 BR. They are the premier top-tier air-to-ground weapon. The A-7K is the first A-7 variant to carry the B model Mavericks. The difference between the A and B models is that the camera on the B is more zoomed in, which makes a whole world of difference. Besides that, the two versions of the Mavericks are the same. They both have a launch range of 14 miles, but an effective range of roughly half that. They can both track a target for 105 seconds. They can both pin 830 millimeters of armor, and they can both consistently one-shot anything that they hit. So now you might understand why being more zoomed in, allowing for longer range shots, is a good thing. With Mavericks by its side, there's just two problems that the A-7K has to overcome to be a truly great CAS plane. The first is that things shoot back. There's just no getting around it. The A-7K is a big, bulky, slow aircraft that at 11.0 will face the best SPAA in the game. We're talking about things such as the Panzer, ADATS, ITO, and according to Gaijin, even the automatic. With the recent battle range changes, the Tunguska is a lower battle rating than the A-7K, although with its 650 mph top speed, I wouldn't want to face any manually guided missiles in that plane, which leads us into our second problem. When facing resistance like that, why not just use the F-4E? The F-4E Phantom II is also an American aircraft that also sits at 11.0 BR, and it also carries 6 AGM-65Bs. The trade-off is that instead of 2 AIM-9Ls, you get 4 Dogfight Sparrows, and instead of the big, slow A-7, you get the agile, supersonic Eagle of the F-4. A downside for some is that the F-4E is a tech tree vehicle, so you can't just buy your way to it, but not all of us are wallet warriors. To circle back to the beginning, the A-7K is not a bad airplane. It's just that of all the jobs that it can do, it only does one of them well, and even then, then it's outperformed by other aircraft. Personally, I would not choose the A-7K as my reward for the Repair Factory event, but then again, I plan on actually using the QN506, and it does look like the A-7K is going to sell for the most of all the reward vehicles on the market. So you do you, boo, and hopefully you all have a great rest of your day.